Do you see a big difference between Bryce and CJ Stroud's accuracy or ability to process? What's the separation for you if there's one?
For me, I think they both have one overarching question that kind of characterizes their entire profile. I think they're both top 10 picks. I would say they're both top 5 picks. Love the film on both. But what puts Bryce over Stroud for me is that Bryce needs to not do something at the next level versus Stroud has to do something. And why that would I mean, the big knock on Bryce is, can he stay on the field? Bryce has to not get hurt. And that's a big ask. He is a historically small quarterback. Came in with the exact same measurables at the combine. If we want to make a comparison to Kyler Murray, we've seen the last 2 years, Kyler Murray struggles to stay on the field. When he's out there, he's great, but he's taken a lot of hits. My argument with that for Bryce has been, hey, this is a guy who doesn't run to run. He runs to throw, and he feels pressure really well and is aware of his size compared to, I think, Kyler, we sometimes see a guy who says, I'm one of the best athletes on the planet. I could have been a top 10 pick in professional baseball. Watch me do this. But to take that question of can Bryce not get hurt, when we go to CJ, it's can CJ Stroud use his legs more? And is he comfortable doing that? Because we know, I think we saw in the Georgia game, when I went back and watched the Notre Dame game a second time, I'm really impressed by the athlete he is. This isn't when I think of athleticism that doesn't translate, I always think of Baker Mayfield getting chased down by Georgia defensive ends in the college football playoff. And I said, okay, he's in for a rude awakening at the next level of how fast these NFL defensive linemen are going to be and what his game has to look like to win there. That wasn't happening to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's a good athlete. When he hit the edge, he could outrun defensive ends, outrun linebackers, and still throw really accurately. The problem with Stroud is, does he have a natural feel for when he's supposed to do that? Or is that going to need to be coached into his reads? Can that be coached with Stroud? So for me, they're very similar. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have them on the same tier or a little cutoff from Bryce and then have Stroud and Richardson in the next tier. But for me, what puts Bryce over Stroud is I think he requires less projection other than staying healthy. And I think that's something just based on who he is and how he plays the game that I'm comfortable saying you can stay on the field versus asking Stroud to be a different version of quarterback than what we saw for 2 whole years at Ohio State.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.